Hello, everyone. We are here with our candidate, Brandy Harfst, who is running for Muscatine County Auditor. Hello, Brandy.
Hello.
All right, so we'll get right into the first question. Why are you running for County Auditor?
Well, I'm running for County Auditor because when I was informed the current auditor was retiring, I was concerned. I was concerned because I knew the duties of the auditor's office are very unique and complex. Like most voters, I wanted to make sure whomever was elected to the position was qualified and experienced with the duties of the position. This concern influenced my decision to run for the auditor's position. Our auditor's office is outstanding and the staff is incredible. I want to keep the auditor's office operating at this current level, and I will bring my education and work experience to the auditor's office that will help me excel in this position.
Many aren't aware of what all the county auditor is responsible for. What do you feel is the most important thing for people to know about the county auditor's office?
Well, right now the election is one of the most important duties of the office, and to be able to get voters out and vote and get their voices heard is important.
Yes. What do you feel are the strengths of the current department?
The current department is outstanding. I've worked with them on many different work-related issues. They are very knowledgeable and helpful, and they go above and beyond their responsibilities.
What do you feel are the weaknesses, and how would you address those?
Some of the things that I have incurred with that is a weakness would be more information out to the voters. Their website right now has information, but it could have a lot more, and I would like to help with that.
The county auditor is critical in the election process, including absentee voting, scheduling, and registration. What issues do you feel the auditor's office faces in providing safe and secure elections?
Right now, safety is a big issue with the elections. All of the ways to vote build on that safety, and the more we can keep the voters safe, the better.
Ensuring all citizens, regardless of resources, are part of the process is essential to a thriving community. What do you feel can be done better to ensure that all the people of Muscatine are part of the process? And are there specific ways you feel you can engage the underrepresented portions of the population?
Yes, I believe the more information we get out there, the better, and to the more people, the better. Like I said, I wanted to help the website, our Muscatine County Auditor website, with more information about that. Right now, they have their website, and you go out to the Secretary of State website, and there is a lot more information about voting and deadlines.
Okay. Do you feel the community does a good job of educating voters about elections and their choices? If not, what do you feel could be done better?
I do believe this election cycle there has been a lot more outreach and a lot more helping the voters with the information. There can always be more that can be done to help voters get the information they need.
Employee morale is critical to the success of any organization. How do you feel about the current state of employee morale, given the tumultuous year 2020 has been, and what can be done to ensure employees feel valued?
Well, I've worked with the auditor's office, and I'm familiar with all the staff. They are great, and I look forward to working with them, but as a leadership position, I want to help them excel in their position and do everything I can to help them reach their goals.
Awesome. Now we are here with our next candidate running for Muscatine County Auditor, Tybee Vanderlinden. Hello. We will just get right into the questions for you today. First question is, why are you running for County Auditor?
Well, our current auditor, Leslie Soul, is retiring, and I believe for me this is a good business career move. I'm at a good point in my life where this career move makes sense, and I have experience with dealing with laws, dealing with customer service, wanting to serve our citizens of Muscatine.
Many aren't aware of what all the county auditor is actually responsible for. What do you feel is the most important thing for people to know about the county auditor's office?
Well, as many of us know, we're going into the general election, and the county auditor, that is her main focus at this time of year and throughout every election. So every Muscatine County election is run through the auditor's office. There is certainly a lot of training for the auditor to learn, as well as the new programs, as well as training over 100 volunteers so that the polls are serviced. And I'm anxious to learn all of those processes and be part of it.
What do you feel are the strengths of the current department?
Well, from what I understand, there is a lot of years of experience there. Leslie Soul, our current auditor, has been our auditor for 25 years and has been unopposed all those years. And so she's been able to keep continuity, and she has a well-trained staff. There are 4 different department or different heads within that office. They're all well-trained. They're also cross-trained so that they know each other's jobs, so they're allowed to take vacations and things can still continue. So I'm very proud of what I've heard and know of their office and anxious to be part of it.
What do you feel are the weaknesses, and how would you address those?
I haven't heard of weaknesses. I know at this time there's always the concern about absentee ballots and when and why we want to encourage that, and that they're brought either into the office, or if you trust the mail system, that's how you'll use it. But as far as actual weaknesses in the office, I think that will be, the new auditor to maybe be able to figure out and improve on.
The county auditor is critical in the election process, as you said, including absentee voting, scheduling, and registration. What issues do you feel the auditor's office faces in providing safe and secure elections?
Okay, well, there's certainly different ways to approach this. I know that they're intending again and have everything in place so that they have safe polling places. That would be with your sanitizers, your masks, your face shields, so that those want to go to the poll on November 3rd will go there feeling as safe as possible. And of course, there's a lot of training that'll be involved, so all of our poll workers and watchers will be involved with that. Another ways, we want our absentee ballots to feel safe, or we want people to feel safe if they start going to the auditor's office on October 5th, so that they can go there safely with a mask. They can vote in person.
Ensuring all citizens, regardless of resources, are part of the process is essential to thriving community. What do you feel can be done better to ensure all people of Muscatine are part of the process? Are there specific ways you feel you can engage underrepresented portions of the population?
Yeah, I think we can always improve on that. The League of Women Voters are also already doing an awesome job of holding their own forums, of getting information out there. Their Facebook page is very active. I commend them for that. I do feel as auditor, perhaps we could do a lot more with maybe holding smaller groups at different church settings as we approach elections, or even in off-election times when people have time. And it's not so much about candidates, it's just about voter awareness and voter integrity and how the process works. A lot of people need to be reminded how a primary works and why it's important and how our county does things. So my intention and hope is that we can keep doing more and more voter education in different ways in Muscatine, whether it's through all kinds of agencies that already exist, small groups within employees, and like I said, possibly church and organizations.
Do you feel the community does a good job of educating voters about the elections and their choices? If not, what do you feel could be done better?
I think the community has done a great job through this election because we have so much social media that is available to us. And not everyone has social media or puts it first to mind, but in other ways we have newspaper, we have Discover Muscatine, we still have the Journal. Then the information is out there. You just have to find it in the way that's best for you. And so I think we can continue that, and it will always continue to be better. And of course, there's lots of commercials it's even on YouTube. We can go to our other social media places that I haven't mentioned. So.
Employee morale is critical to the success of any organization. How do you feel about the current state of employee morale given the tumultuous year 2020 has been? And what can be done to ensure employees feel valued?
Okay. I think with any office, you have to have transparency, and so that you do meet even within small offices like the auditor's office is, and that they're housed within the bigger office of the Muscatine County. And just so that you have good rapport with your employees, learn their concerns, and keep communication open so that you can move forward and keep us safe. It has been a very hard year, and I think we've all been faced with it in different ways. We have to be understanding of all ways that are, of concern and scary to people. So I think we have to go forward with that. Obviously, we're not at a place where we have a vaccine and that we're going to feel safe for a while. So I believe in, masks and all of it. Yeah.
All right, we are here with our candidate running for County Auditor, Mary Mason Wheeler, and we'll just get right into the questions. First question, why are you running for County Auditor?
Well, I've been involved with the election process for about 8 years now. I started working at the precinct as an election official, just as a way to get involved several years ago. After about 2 years of doing that as a precinct official, Leslie asked me if I wanted to be a precinct captain. So I've served in that capacity for about 6 years. Not allowed to work at it this year because if your name's on the ballot, you can't work at the polls. So this is the first year in 8 years that I haven't worked at the elections, and I really enjoy the election process. I grew up with voting being incredibly important in our family. It was just something that you did. It was an expectation, and being involved in the voting process is really important to me, and being able to work further in the office and help educate people about that process would be a really exciting opportunity.
Many aren't aware of what all the county auditor is responsible for. What do you feel is the most important thing for people to know about the county auditor's office?
I think it's that there's a lot that goes on that people don't see. The election process and overseeing the elections is the most public aspect that a lot of people are aware of, but the auditor's office acting as the clerk for the supervisors board is very important, making sure that those records are accurate and that they are available to the public as quickly as possible, as transparent as possible with county business. That's incredibly important. Overseeing payroll, overseeing all those different types of aspects. There are multiple layers of things that happen, and Leslie over the past 25 years has built a really great team of people that are knowledgeable, competent, and incredibly efficient at the jobs that they do.
What do you feel are the strengths of the current department?
Well, Leslie has been in this position for 25 years. She has done a fabulous job. Like I said, the team that she has built is great. I've worked alongside them working as a precinct official. I've interacted with them, done trainings, all sorts of things like that. They are all incredibly knowledgeable about their roles. I think she has built a fabulous team. I think that's one of the position is kind of that of an administrator, of a manager, and the team that she has built is just second to none.
What do you feel are the weaknesses, and how would you address those?
The only major weakness that I would see would be in communication with the public. I think that in our current society, communication and transparency in government are more important than ever. People want to know what their elected officials are doing. They want to know what their tax dollars are being used for. They want to know what is happening. So I would really love to partner with the different local medias, with Discover Muscatine, and with even the Wilton Advocate, the Muscatine Journal, the radio station, and work together to help publicize that type of information. I'm a communications major, so that's really important to me, making sure that people understand. So maybe a weekly post or like a quarterly update of some type that would let people know what the auditor's office is up to when it's not election season, when it's, the off season, what is going on and what's happening behind the scenes.
The county auditor is critical in the election process, including absentee voting, scheduling, and registration. What issues do you feel the auditor's office faces in providing safe and secure elections?
I know that the process in Iowa, because I've been involved with it, is safe and secure. Many of the stories that we hear from across the country make me cringe, but they're not issues that we face here. I know the process that is involved here with the mail-in ballots and with if somebody shows up that has requested an absentee ballot, they have to either hand it in or they have to, go find it. There are processes in place in Iowa that help make it incredibly secure. And I think that, again, with that communication, helping publicize those things, helping put the voter's mind at ease, helping people understand what the process is and what those safeguards are to make sure that your vote counts, every vote is counted, every vote matters. There isn't a point in time where somebody is going to say, okay, we're not counting these, everything matters, and making the public aware of what those measures are.
Ensuring all citizens, regardless of resources, are part of the process is essential to a thriving community. What do you feel can be done better to ensure all people of Muscatine are part of the process? Are there specific ways you feel you can engage underrepresented portions of the population?
I would really love to work alongside the local media and organizations like the League of Women Voters to help continue to educate people about the voting process. How do you get your name on a ballot? How do you become involved with your local party? How do you go through the process of all of these things? Because during an election year, a lot of times, especially a major presidential campaign, people will, they get involved that year, but then on the off year, you've got the mayoral race and you have the school board elections and you have the local elections. And a lot of times the school board election and the city council elections have a greater impact on our day-to-day life than the presidential election does. And people need to be aware of how to get involved in those processes and how to meet those candidates and ask those candidates questions and have their voices heard on the small front. Who are your school board officials? How do you contact them? All of those types of steps along the way, because those have a much bigger impact on our day-to-day life.
Do you feel the community does a good job of educating voters about elections and their choices? If not, what do you think can be done better?
I think it's getting better and better. I think that with the advent of, the upgrading of technology along the way, it gets better all the time. It used to be that you had to find your local newspaper and find this specific information, or you had to go to a specific government website to find everything. And with the usage of social media, with the usage of all the different local medias that we have, it becomes easier and easier to know who your candidates are, what they stand for, what their platforms are, how to reach out to them, how to contact them. I do believe that I would really like to work with the local high schools and with the community college for first-time voters. My oldest child is 19 and he got to vote in his first election a couple of years ago, and it wasn't a presidential election. He was really bummed that it wasn't a big one, but it was really exciting, and I got to teach him how to vote. And that's one of my favorite things working at the election is the first-time voters, helping them get registered, because Iowa offers same-day registration, and then walking them through the process of this is how you fill out a ballot and this is what you do with it, and you're going to submit it into this machine over here, and now your vote is going to do this and this. And it's really kind of an exciting process to work with the first-time voters.
Employee morale is critical to the success of any organization. How do you feel about the current state of employee morale given the tumultuous year that we've had in 2020? What can be done to ensure that employees feel valued?
I think in any organization, government entity, or private company, it's important to know that your leadership believes in you, believes that you are competent and that you're able to do your job. 2020 has been a challenging year for many offices. With the auditor's office, at the peak of when everything was closing down was when all of the paperwork was due for candidates. So they were not able to close their doors. They had to stay open. They had to work through that. And I think it's incredibly important to let those employees know how that opportunity, how their work is valued, their commitment, their dedication, and just let them know that the office appreciates it, the county appreciates it, the community, because had they closed their doors, all of the candidates would have missed the state set deadline and you wouldn't have any candidates and it would be a completely different season. So their dedication has made the election season possible.